Learn English through stories I13 PDF. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole 13-3/4, 1981. By Sue Townsend. February 15th to 28th. Sunday, February 15th. Sepuade Sima. Mr. Lucas moved back to his empty house last night. I expect he got fed up with all the rowing over the elephant Valentine's Day cart. I told my father that my mother can't help it if a man secretly admires her. My father gave a nasty laugh and said, "You've got a lot to learn, son." I cleared off to my grandma's at dinner time. She cooked me a proper Sunday dinner with gravy and individual Yorkshire puddings. She is never too busy to make real custard either. I took the dog with me and we all went for a walk in the afternoon to settle our dinners. My grandma hasn't spoken to my mother since the row about the cardigans. Grandma says she won't set foot in that house again. Grandma asked me if I believed in life after death. I said I didn't, and Grandma told me that she had joined the spiritualist church and has heard my granddad talking about his rhubarb. My granddad has been dead for 4 years. She is going on Wednesday night to try to get in touch with him again, and she wants me to go with her. She says I have got an aura around me. The dog choked on a chicken bone, but we held it upside down and banged it hard, and the bone fell out. I've left the dog at Grandma's to recover from its ordeal. Looked up Sepuade Sima in my pocket dictionary. It didn't have it. We'll look in the school dictionary tomorrow. Lay awake for ages thinking about God, life and death, and Pandora. Monday, February 16th. Washington's birthday observance. A letter from the BBC, a white oblong envelope with BBC in red fat letters. My name and address on the front. Could it be that they wanted my poems? Alas, no. But a letter from a bloke called John Tidyman. Here is what he wrote. Dear Adrian Mole, thank you for the poems which you sent to the BBC, and which somehow landed up on my desk. I read them with interest, and, taking into account your tender years, I must confess that they do show some promise. However, they are not of sufficient quality for us to consider including them in any of our current poetry programs. Have you thought of offering them to your school magazine or to your local parish magazine? If you have one. If, in future, you wish to submit any of your work to the BBC, may I suggest you get it typed out and retain, also, a copy for yourself. The BBC does not normally consider submissions in handwritten manuscript form, and, despite the neatness of presentation, I did have some difficulty in making out a lot of the words, particularly at the end of one poem, entitled The Tap, where there was a rather nasty blotch, which had caused the ink to run. A tea stain or a tear stain, a case of your tap runneth over. Since you wish to follow a literary career, I suggest you will need to develop a thick skin in order to accept many of the inevitable future rejections you may receive with good grace and a minimum of personal pain. With my best wishes to you for future literary efforts, and above all, good luck. Yours sincerely, John Tidyman. P.S. I enclose a poem by a certain John Mole, which appeared in this week's Times Literary Supplement. Is he a relation? It is very good. My mother and father were really impressed. I kept getting it out and reading it at school. I was hoping one of the teachers would ask to read it, but none of them did. Bert Baxter read it while I was doing his rotten washing up. He said they were all a load of drug addicts in the BBC. His brother-in-law's uncle once lived next door to a tea lady at Broadcasting House, so Bert knows all about the BBC. Pandora got 17 Valentine's Day cards. Nigel got 7. Even Barry Kent, whom everybody hates, got 3. I just smiled when everybody asked me how many I got. Anyway, I bet I am the only person in the school to get a letter from the BBC. Tuesday, February 17 th. Barry Kent said he would do me over unless I gave him 25 pence every day. I told him that he was wasting his time demanding money with menaces from me. I never have any spare money. My mother puts my pocket money straight into my building society account and gives me 15 pence a day for a Mars bar. Barry Kent said I would have to give my dinner money. I told him that my father pays it by check since it went up to 60 pence a day, but Barry Kent hit me in the ghoulies and walked off saying, "There's more where that came from." I have put my name down for a paper round. Wednesday, February 18 th. Full moon. Woke up with a pain in my ghoulies. Told my mother. She wanted to look, but I didn't want her to, so she said I would have to soldier on. She wouldn't give me a note excusing me from games, so I had to stumble around in the mud again. Barry Kent trod on my head in the scrum. Mr. Jones saw him and sent him off for an early shower. I wish I could have a non-painful illness so I could be excused from games. Something like a weak heart would be all right. Fetched the dog from Grandma's. She has given it a shampoo and said, "It smells like the perfume counter in Woolworth's." I went to the spiritualist meeting with my grandma. It was full of dead old people. One madman stood up and said he had a radio inside his head which told him what to do. Nobody took any notice of him, so he sat down again. A woman called Alice Tonks started grunting and rolling her eyes about and talking to somebody called Arthur Mayfield, but my granddad kept quiet. My grandma was a bit sad, so when we got home I made her a cup of Horlicks. She gave me 50 pence and I walked home with the dog. Started reading Animal Farm by George Orwell. I think I might like to be a vet when I grow up. Thursday, February 19 th. Prince Andrew born, 1960. It's all right for Prince Andrew. He is protected by bodyguards. He doesn't have Barry Kent nicking money off him. 50 pence gone just like that. I wish I knew karate. I would chop Barry Kent in his windpipe. It is quiet at home. My parents are not speaking to each other. Friday, February 20 th. Barry Kent told myself to get stuffed in geography today, so she sent him to Mr. Scruton to be punished. I hope he gets 50 lashes. I am going to make friends with Craig Thomas. He is one of the biggest third years. I bought him a Mars bar in a break today. I pretended I felt sick and didn't feel like eating it myself. He said, "Tom Oley." That is the first time he has spoken to me. If I play my cards right, I could be in his gang. Then Barry Kent wouldn't dare touch me again. My mother is reading another sex book. It is called The Second Sex, by a frog writer called Simone de Beauvoir. She left it on the coffee table in the living room where anybody could have seen it, even my grandma. Saturday, February 21 th. Had a dead good dream that Sabre was brutally savaging Barry Kent. Mr. Scruton and Miss Alf were watching. Pandora was there. She was wearing her split skirt. She put her arms round me and said, "I am of the second sex." Then I woke up to find I had had my second WD. I have to put my pajamas in the washing machine so my mother doesn't find out. Had a good look at my face in the bathroom mirror today. I have got 5 spots as well as the one on my chin. I have got a few hairs on my lip. It looks as if I shall have to start shaving soon. Went to the garage with my father. He expected to get the car back today, but it still isn't ready. All the bits are on the workbench. My father's eyes filled up with tears. I was ashamed of him. We walked to Sainsbury's. My father bought tins of salmon, crab and shrimps and a Black Forest cake, and some dead yucky white cheese covered in grape pips. My mother was dead mad at him when we got home because he had forgotten the bread, butter, and toilet paper. She says he can't be trusted to go on his own again. My father cheered up a bit. Sunday, February 22 nd. Sex age Sima. My father has gone fishing with the dog. Mr. Lucas came for dinner and stayed for tea. He ate 3 slices of the Black Forest cake. We played Monopoly. Mr. Lucas was banker. My mother kept going into jail. I won because I was the only one concentrating properly. My father came in the front door and Mr. Lucas went out of the back door. My father said he had been looking forward to the Black Forest cake all day. There was none left. My father said he had not had a bite to eat or a bite on his fishing line all day. My mother gave him great pip cheese on Rye King for his supper. He threw it at the wall and said he wasn't a mouse, he was a man, and my mother said it was a long time since he had done any. I was sent out of the room then. It is a terrible thing to hear your own mother swearing. I blame it on all those books she has been reading. She hasn't ironed my school uniform yet. I hope she remembers. I let the dog sleep in my room tonight. It doesn't like quarreling. Monday, February 23 RD. Had a letter from Mr. Cherry, the newsagent, to say I can start a paper round tomorrow. Worse luck. Bert Baxter is worried about Saber because he is off his food and not trying to bite anybody. He asked me to take him to the PDSA for a checkup. I said I would take him tomorrow if his condition hadn't improved. I'm fed up with washing up for Bert. He seems to live off fried eggs. It is no joke trying to wash up in cold water without any washing up liquid. Also, there is never a dry tea towel. In fact, there are never any tea towels, and Saber has ripped up all the bath towels, so I don't know how Bert can even have a wash. I think I'll see if I can get Bert a home help. I've got to concentrate on getting my GCEs if I want to be a vet. Tuesday, February 24 th. St. Matthias. Got up at 6 o'clock for my paper round. I have got Elm Tree Avenue. It is dead posh. All the papers they read are very heavy, the Times, the Daily Telegraph, and the Guardian. Just my luck. Bert said Saber is better. He tried to bite the milkman. Wednesday, February 25 th. Bed early tonight because of my paper round. Delivered 25 punches as well as the papers. Thursday, February 26 th. The papers got mixed up today. Elm Tree Avenue got the Sun and the Mirror, and Corporation Row got the heavy papers. I don't know why everybody went so mad. You'd think they would enjoy reading a different paper for a change. Friday, February 27 th. Last quarter. Early this morning I saw Pandora walking down the drive of 69 Elm Tree Avenue. She had a riding hat and jodhpurs on, so she couldn't have been on her way to school. I didn't let her see me. I don't want her to know that I am doing a menial job. So now I know where Pandora lives. I had a good look at the house. It is much bigger than ours. It has got rolled-up wooden blinds at all the windows, and the rooms look like jungles because of all the green plants. I looked through the letterbox and saw the big ginger cat eating something on the kitchen table. They have the Guardian, Punch, Private Eye, and New Society. Pandora reads Jackie, the comic for girls. She is not an intellectual like me. But I don't suppose Malcolm Muggeridge's wife is either. Saturday, February 28 th. Pandora has got a little fat horse called Blossom. She feeds it and makes it jump over barrels every morning before school. I know because I hid behind her father's Volvo and then followed her to a field next to the disused railway line. I hid behind a scrap car in the corner of the field and watched her. She looked dead good in her riding stuff. Her chest was wobbling like mad. She will need to wear a bra soon. My heart was beating so loudly in my throat that I felt like a stereo loudspeaker, so I left before she heard me. People complained because the papers were late. I had a Guardian left over in my paper bag, so I took it home to read. It was full of spelling mistakes. It is